Lesley, welcome to Meet the Squaddies. It's great to have you on the podcast today. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. Like we were just chatting about then, this whole series is all about getting to know each other better and inspiring each other, motivating one another. So I just think everyone is from such different, diverse backgrounds, and we've all got different things going on. And it's so interesting to see what we're all up to. So tell us a little bit about you, Lesley. And I know for some squaddies listening now, Lesley might have been your ambassador for the step challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah, tell us a little bit about you, Lesley.
yeah, I loved that challenge. Absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. Um, but yeah, I'm Lesley and I live in Chesterfield. I'm originally from Hartlepool, so we're a long, long time ago, but I like to still think of myself as from the northeast. Um, so yeah, I've lived in Chesterfield for 30 something years, 36 years. I'm a primary school teacher. So I teach year one. I usually teach key stage one, so it's life is never boring. I've got two children. I live with my husband and my two children. I've got two children, Daniel, who's 11, nearly 12, and Ella is 8. And I work 2 days a week, which I've done since Daniel was a baby. It just gives me a really nice balance of home life and work. And I am just training to be a senior mental health lead for our school. We've had a bit of a tough 2 years with Ella. She's been really poorly, so we've had a lot of support to do with mental health. Worked with a lot of different agencies, and it's something I'm really passionate about now. So I'm yeah, just starting that training. So yeah,
Wow, that's
life's
huge.
interesting.
Yeah, I love how you said, oh, I work 2 days a week because it's a really nice balance. And you're like, oh, and I've just started some training. It's great to be doing that. I think it's such an important topic and one that is now, I think, being understood more as something that is really, really vital and that everyone should be working on. So a lot of us work on our physical health and make it part of our weekly thing or daily thing, but not so much the mental health. And it's really
Yeah,
super, super important. So I think it's great that you're doing that, Lesley.
thanks.
So I'd love to go back in time a little bit to maybe your past relationship with exercise and with fitness. What did that kind of look like? Have you always been into keeping really active?
Uh, no, I think if any of my family listened to this, they'd probably laugh because I was always known as the one that would like get in the car to drive to the shop round the corner. It was literally 2 minutes away. Um, yeah, so when I was a teenager, I was very maybe like most teenagers, I was quite lazy. That's maybe a generalization. It's probably not very fair, but yes, I wasn't very active. Um, but then when I sort of got into like my early 20s, I thought, oh, I need to start doing something now because I've got a very, very sweet tooth. Um, and yeah, the weight started sort of creeping on. So when I was probably early 20s, actually, I started going to Slimming World. Um, and I think I've been going to a group like that probably for about way over 10 years, probably 15 years. I did Slimming World, I did Weight Watchers, I did exercise, I started going to the gym, but I just never found anything that clicked. Um, like Slimming World was brilliant, I'd lose loads of weight, but then it got to the point where I found it so restrictive in some ways. I felt like I was missing out. So I could never understand why I could have like massive loads and loads and loads of pasta and potatoes, but I could never have a chocolate bar because I didn't have enough sins left in the day. And I remember saying to a friend of mine, we went out for tea and I'd ordered a chicken and bacon salad, which I always used to have when I went out because I knew like how many sins was in that. And I remember saying, I just wish that I could go out and order chips. And I remember saying, I can't imagine a time when I'll ever be able to go out and order chips because I was always on a diet. I was always being good and eating healthily, and it was all salads and obviously, which is good. But I would never have had chips. I would have never had a burger. I would never have had a pizza. So then I'd get to a point where I'd just start craving it, and I'd be binging it, and like not all in one go, but I'd want to eat lots of it, and then I would just slip back into old habits again. So probably 15 years of diet industry mentality. I mean, I tried everything as well. I tried um, a British Heart Foundation diet where you could only eat beetroot and something else really random. And then
Oh my gosh.
it was like a really random diet. You had like beetroot one day, and then you could have beetroot and some Rivita the next day. And you did it for like 4 days, and it was supposed to like reset your system or something. Then I tried oh, what's it called? Can't think of the name of it now. Where you have like all the shakes and things, not Slim Fast. It's all like herbally stuff, and you had like loads of shakes, and you'd have to have these little sachets of stuff that you were supposed to take before you ate, 'cause it was supposed to bind all the fat so it didn't go into your system. My mind's gone blank. I can't even think what it's called now. Juice
Is it
Plus.
her?
That's
Oh,
it. The
right.
Juice
Yeah,
Plus.
yeah.
Yeah. So you had the little sachets, and I'd absolutely go into a tailspin if I'd not had my little sachet before I'd had my meal, because it wouldn't be absorbing all the. So yeah, I've tried everything.
What was it
Um,
about those things that you felt really didn't work?
it was just how restrictive it was. And I know that you could have like, you can have certain things as long as it's within your sins or your points or something. But I just felt I was always counting something. And sometimes I'd just get to the point where my headspace was just, if you have like a bad week or something happens, I was just like, I don't want to have to count and track everything all of the time. And I just felt like there was certain things that wasn't allowed. And I'd go and get weighed, and like, because you're weighing every week, I'd get weighed and I'd be like, I feel really good. My trousers feel really like loose. And I'd get on the scales and she'd go, put on two. What have you been doing? You need to be better next week. So I'd be like, well, how can I be better? Because this is my food diary. I've been really good and I feel brilliant. Why have I put on 2 pounds? And they'd go, well, don't know, got to try better next week. So I'd always go away feeling really ashamed of myself and really disappointed. And some nights I'd get home, and I must admit, there was one night I walked in the house and I was in tears because I'd honestly thought I'd had a really good week and I'd been really trying. And my daughter, she was only 5 at the time, and she came over and she went, "Oh, don't cry." She went, "What happened? Did you get a bigger number than you wanted?" And I just thought that's not what I want her to grow up seeing. I don't want her to grow up thinking that I go and get weighed on a Thursday night and I come back and I'm in floods of tears sitting with a Mars bar because I've like not had chocolate for 2 weeks because I've been
Yeah,
good. And I don't want her to see that. And
yeah.
it was just a mentality of, has your number gone up? And I thought that
Mm.
I'm judging myself by a number.
Yeah,
So it really made me sort of stop and think.
yeah. And it's so true, isn't it? And I'd like to think, and I think things are slowly changing,
Mm,
that you're not a number. You shouldn't detach your self-worth to a number because you aren't one. And
yeah,
also when you're on a journey, a fitness journey, the scales don't always reflect what is going on with your health. And I always say this when people first join us and they pick up weights for the first time and they start weight training and they say, yeah, but my body's completely changing, but my weight is like really similar, but I'm feeling slimmer. I've got shape on my arms. I'm like, yeah, isn't that a good thing? Like your body shape is changing. And how's your sleep? Oh, yeah, I'm sleeping better. And how's your energy? Yeah, I've got so much more energy. Right. Okay. So this is real progress then. And that's something that I always try and dial into everybody as well, that it's not, it's not about a number, it's about, are you healthier than you were? And health is measured in so many different ways. And I completely get what you were saying about the restriction thing too, because as human beings, if someone tells us not to do something, or you don't allow yourself something, it's all you can think about. And it becomes the big red button. And all you want to do is press the big red button until we crack, because we fatigue and we just can't, we have to give in. So this is why it's just so important to have that healthy balance and to be, you know what, you go to a restaurant with your friend and you fancy having some chips, then have them and enjoy them, because you've stuck to your exercise this week and the rest of the time you're giving your body what it needs. So of course it's allowed. And I'd I'd love to know how that transition from going from that mindset and being almost like wired to think that way. How did you rewire your mindset, or is it something, that is still kind of ongoing? How are you working with that?
It's definitely better than it was, but I definitely do think it's a work in progress. So after having had quite a lot of time out of like Weight Watchers and Slimming World and things, and then we went into lockdown, didn't we? And you know, we just ate for something to do. I think we'd got, we found places that delivered food, and we got, sausage rolls delivered from the local bakery and stuff like that. And it got sort of part way into like 2021, and I thought I really, really need to do something now. So I joined Manda, who I know is a friend of yours, and I started doing her some of her workouts, and I did a lot of work with her on nutrition and the nutrition side of things, and looked more into like the calorie content of things. And I did start off using NutriCheck, NutriCheck, to sort of look at the calorie content of things and see what I was eating. And actually, I was slowly beginning to see that actually it's in moderation. Everything was in moderation. So I made sure that I had my protein, made sure that I had the fruit and the vegetables, but then I would always save myself like a little number of calories just for the end of the day, because I always get to like 8 o'clock and really, really want some like a little snack or something. So I would save those calories and have a little something at the end of the day. But the more I read into or listened to different podcasts from different people on nutrition, I started to realize that actually I didn't need that on an evening, because I was fueling myself in the day better. I'd have more protein for my breakfast, and then I wouldn't have my little cake or whatever I would have at 10 o'clock, because I was mindset, I got to that point, it was like 10 o'clock, it's coffee and cake. Whereas now it's like at 10 o'clock, I'll have a coffee, then I'll have a glass of water. And if I'm really hungry, I might have like a little, like one of those naked bars or something like that. And it was just a really gradual work over time. But it's still the guilt. I think it's a long time. When you've 15 years of having your mindset, it's really hard to undo it, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I think I am still on a journey, but I am beginning to realize that, like you were talking about on one of your podcasts that I was listening to, I can go out and have the chips, but I might not have the chips and the pudding. I might think, oh, I really fancy something sweet at the end of this meal. So I'll have something more nutritious, and then I'll have a pudding, because that's actually what I really fancy today. But if I really fancy the chips, I'll have the chips, but not the pudding. And that
Yeah.
really helped me. That's really stuck in my mind, because I did that when I went out at the weekend. I really fancied a glass of wine, and we had some pizza, and I had a couple of slices of pizza and a glass of wine. And then they went, oh, should we get some cake? And I was like, no, I'm fine, thank you. Because I've had the pizza, which I'm really looking forward to. And I've had the wine, which I was really looking forward to. I
Yeah.
don't need the cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas normally I'd have gone, stuff it, I'll have it all, because I've been like really good all week. And so that's really helped.
It
But
is. Yeah. Sorry, carry on, Lesley.
yeah, I was just gonna say, it is still the guilt thing, because I've been really good all week. Then Friday night and Saturday, I'll have a little treat. So Friday night would come, and we'd sit watching the film with the kids. Then I'd have the popcorn, then I'd have the sweets, then I'd have the chocolate. Then I'd feel sick. So then I'd be like, oh, I need something savoury, because I feel really sick. So then I'd have some crisps, and then I'd have a glass of wine. And then I'd be like, oh, I'll have a few more crisps. And then Saturday would come, we'd get a takeaway. Whereas now, Tuesday might come, and I might think, oh, it's been a really long day. Just fancy a little curly whirly or something. Yeah, a little bar of chocolate. So I'll have it. And then Friday night comes, and the other night I sat down and I think I had a bowl of cereal and a cup of tea, rather than loads of chocolate and wine and crisps, because I didn't feel I needed it.
Yeah. And
So
it's that whole, well, you kind of rewired your mindset to be
mm,
like, well, I really fancied it. So do you know what? I had it and I really enjoyed it. And there was nothing wrong with it. And I shouldn't feel guilty for it. So because you did that, you got to Friday, you weren't even really thinking about it at all. And then you had cereal because you wanted the cereal. And I think it really is just that whole challenging your mindset all the time and asking yourself questions, like asking, okay, do I need this? Do I really want it? Do I really fancy it? Well, actually, yeah, I really do fancy it. So I'm just going to make sure that I thoroughly enjoy it and eat it more mindfully, I think. That is definitely a key. But I can understand what you're saying when you say you've had 15 years of being told that you can't have this, you shouldn't have that, that is bad. And now it's all about questioning your own belief system, isn't it? Questioning your own beliefs, like, okay, well, why? Why can't I have that? And why is it bad? Like, realistically, what is that going to do to me other than make me over restrict or not allow myself something to then only go and overindulge on it because I've not allowed it?
Mm.
So it's about finding that healthy balance. But Lesley, since I've known you, you've come on in leaps and bounds in your mindset and also fitness wise, but like trying new things as well. So since you've joined the squad, how has even like your fitness regime, how has that changed? Has it altered at all?
I love it. I look forward to exercise, which is really nice. I when I worked with Manda before I joined you guys, I did used to do her 6 a.m. workout. So to be honest, 6:30 feels like a little bit of a lie in. I'm like, I've gained half an hour in bed. But I am not a morning person. You ask my family, I am not a morning person. I hate getting up. Like I just don't like it. I love being in bed. I love my bed. So my husband is like, I cannot believe you are somebody who gets up at 6:30 and does an exercise class. Because there was one week we were pushed and said, like, do something that you would never normally do and do it for a week and see if you can keep it up. And mine was, I will never, ever get up and do a 6 o'clock workout. Why? I don't even like 6 o'clock. There isn't a two 6 o'clocks in my day. Like, there's one. That is it. Um, and I did it for a week and then I've done it ever since. And then so to me, getting up and getting the workout done at 6:30, it just sets me up for the rest of the day. And then I find myself like going through the lives and I'm like, can I make it the 9:30? Can I make it the 9:30? Oh no, I'm going out, I can't make it. And I'm like gutted that I can't do another one. Um, but I think I'm finding that I need that variety. Because I've done a lot of strength training in the past and I did do a lot of running. Don't Not quite so much, but I did do a lot of running. But I didn't do any of the like the holistic, and I didn't do much of the cardio, like the aerobics type. So I found I did get, like again, you were saying the other day, I did get injured quite a lot, and especially with my running. I did 4 half marathons a bit back. Can't believe I did that now. I started Couch to 5K 1 April, and then in the October I ran my first half marathon. I did 4 over 2 years,
Oh my
but then
gosh.
I hurt my knee. But I think that was because I didn't do any of sort of like the holistic things. I didn't really do the stretches and stuff. And then once I'd hurt it, I didn't really go back to doing it again because I was so scared of injuring it. Um, so yeah, so now I love the range. I love getting up at 6:30. I never thought I would ever thought I would say that. I wake up at 6:15 every day now. Well,
Yes.
sometimes I wake up early if I'm getting up for the class, but even on a weekend, if I've not planned a 6:30 workout in, I wake up at 6:15.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, there's no workout today because it's Saturday. um, So yeah, I love doing that. Love trying all the different varieties. And yeah, I really enjoy it. Some nights I'll come in and it'll get sort of 5:30 and I think, do you know what? I'm just gonna stick my stuff on and do an aerobics. All right, that is so not me. Um, but I've just really tried to push myself. I think pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I've been told a lot in the past, in the like years and years ago, that um I was never very good at stuff like that. And I was I was too big, too fat to do exercise like that. A lot of I was told that like somebody like years ago, and it was really stuck with me. So now when I'm doing aerobics, I'm like I just look like I don't know, I just look like a whale, like flopping around in the house, jumping up and down. And I thought, you know what? Though I always did the classes with my camera off, and I felt embarrassed. I was like doing it on my own, nobody around me, camera off, thinking I just look so uncoordinated. I look big. But then one day I just thought, no, I think you'd said challenge yourself and put your camera on, so I did, and it's made me really push myself to now. I stuck a song on the other day, and I was jumping around doing like random step moves, doing a bit of like Zumba moving on my own, just 3 minutes trying to get my steps up for the challenge, which is not me. But I think a lot of it is pushing yourself outside your comfort zone and not thinking, I'm very good at thinking I can't do that, or I'm not good enough to do that, or I'll never be able to do that. And I think I'm learning just to try and push myself out my comfort zone. And the more you do it, the more it becomes a good habit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And
Okay.
that person, oh my goodness, people can be so cruel and it's entirely not true. So I'm so glad you had the confidence to put your camera on and just go for it. Because I loved seeing you. I love seeing everyone and seeing everyone's smiley faces and we're all working out together. And I always think just come as you are. You're in the comfort of your own home, show up as you are, and we're all just gonna have fun together because that's what it's all about. It is fun and it feels good to move your body. So to hear that you're getting excited about doing the class, you've made it part of your routine, part of your day, and then even some days just being like, oh, do you know what? It's fancy doing a workout. Like that's amazing. I really love that. Um, no, I'm really pleased that you're embracing the variety as well because, like you said, it's key for your all-round health and well-being, and yeah, definitely staying injury free. So that's made me really, really happy. Thanks, Lesley. So
That's it.
for you, moving forward, what's your main goal? Is it just to keep on doing what you're doing at the moment? Is it to explore like different exercises? What's your main goal or even challenge for yourself at the moment?
Hmm. So I think probably for me at the minute, I'm trying to rebuild myself in my confidence, probably in my own mental health as well, in the way I approach everything, especially to do with exercise and health and things. I'm still trying to push the exercise. I'm trying not to get too hung up on measurements and weight, like you said, when I messaged you the week, I'd weighed myself and it wasn't what I wanted to see. But then I weighed myself 2 hours later and I was 2 kilograms lighter. And I was like, well, hey. And then you realize, and I did what you said, and I weighed myself every day at the same time, wearing the same things in the same spot for a week. And my weight fluctuated by 6 kilograms over a week, 6 kilograms over a week. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So I can't take a snapshot of one one number at one time. So I'm really learning not to do that and trying to. The reason I'm doing it is because I want to feel better. I want to feel better in myself. I want to feel fitter and stronger. Um, I was doing something the other day and I just dropped something on the floor in the classroom and I squatted down and picked it up. And one of the kids went, "Whoa!" And I was like, and I can like squat down and get it and get straight back up again without having to get on my knees and like, oh. So
Oh,
I just
amazing.
want to feel stronger. I want to feel healthier. And like I said at the start, like we've had a really tough 2 years. My daughter was had developed an autoimmune disease literally overnight. She had COVID and a chest infection, and it triggered a rare condition that it's not really very well known. It's acronyms PANDAS, so it's a pediatric autoimmune neuropsychological disorder. And she basically changed overnight. She turned into a completely different child. She developed OCD. She developed food restrictions. It was horrific, and I had to take a year off work to look after her and go into school with her. And she ended up being admitted to hospital because she just couldn't cope with the OCDs and the psychological effect that it was having on her. And it was really, really horrible 2 years. We just watched her deteriorate before our eyes. She just completely. Some people might not have heard of it. Some people might have seen. It's been articles in the news recently, and on this morning, her pediatrician was on this morning talking about it. And literally all the weight that I'd lost, all the toning I'd done, all the hard work I did when I worked with Amanda, I felt like I'd just undone it all. And I know I didn't undo it all, but I think I've probably put weight back on to back where I was. And just again, it was the shame. I felt ashamed because I'd bought so many new clothes and I thought I felt I looked really nice. I could put something on and go out and feel comfortable. I'm not a confident person. I've never ever been confident with my looks. Ever. I don't think. And I just got to the point where I thought, I can put an outfit on and I can go out and I feel okay. And I lost all that. I live in big baggy jumpers, and I felt shame. I feel shame. I still probably do. I think I still feel ashamed that people were like, oh, you've lost loads of weight, you've done really well. To now I feel I haven't. I've got a lot of clothes that don't fit me anymore. But after 2 years of like search, I did a lot of self-research, search for help, found pediatricians in London that would try and help her, wrote to different places, tested cams, did all sorts. We've got her this diagnosis, and she's now got a team of um pediatricians, neurologists, cams, psychiatrists, and all sorts that help her, and she's doing really well. So now I feel it's my turn, not my turn, it's my chance to rebuild myself. Just from being looking after her 24/7, sleepless nights, eating for comfort, and all of that. So now I think a very, very long way of saying my main goal now is to focus on me. I think I want to just feel better about myself. I want to feel stronger again. I want to feel fitter again. I don't want to use food or wine or whatever as a crutch and a comfort anymore. I want to start rebuilding me and begin to feel more like myself again.
I just want to say thank you for sharing that again. And I can't imagine how difficult it's been for you. And I think sometimes we can beat ourselves up like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. It was an emotional response. I shouldn't have done that. But you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. And I think the best thing you can do is what you're doing now, which is drawing a line. That was what happened. And now we're just looking forwards and focusing on you, because got to remember that you're number one, and to show up as your best self for your kids, for your husband, for work, and for yourself. You've got to work on you, and that's something that you're doing, and you're doing consistently, Lesley. And throughout this conversation, you've been saying about, how you already feel you're getting stronger. Your relationship with food is improving, and you're doing different exercises, you're getting fitter, and you're rebuilding that relationship and confidence within yourself and going outside your comfort zone, challenging yourself. So I really do feel like you are doing that. And I feel like if you just carry on doing what you're doing and staying consistent at everything you've been doing and putting in place, you'll look back in half a year's time and you'll feel like a completely different person. And I just want to say as well that it's a pleasure to have you in our family. It really is. It's such a pleasure to have you in the squad. And I'm so pleased that you're really enjoying it as well. And
Thank you.
we're able to draw a line under everything that's happened.
Thank you. Well, I keep trying to drag my friends in. We've got a few friends joining us now because I've been speaking to about it, and I'm like, oh, you just need to come and join us because it's just no pressure. It's yeah, it's just so welcoming. And so thank you for being so welcoming, and all the other squaddies as well. When we did the step challenge and you were asking for ambassadors, again, that is something I would never normally do. I wouldn't. My brain told me, you've only just started, you've only been there, a couple of months. You don't know anybody, nobody knows you. Who are you to jump in and say, oh, I want to lead a team? And then I thought, no, because I want to encourage other people, and I want to encourage people who might be finding it tricky, and it encourages me as well. If you encourage other people, it builds you up as well, doesn't it?
It does.
So the winning squad, can I just say, the winning team. Uh,
Do you need a round of applause? Hey!
yes. Thank you to that team, because I didn't feel like that at all. I did, initially thought everyone must know each other and nobody knows who this new person is, but everyone was just amazing. So well done, team. Thank you.
Hey, you're a fantastic ambassador. I love the post you did as well. It was yesterday or the day before where everyone shared something about themselves and shared a little selfie. It was so
Yeah.
nice. It was really, really nice. I think you've always got to remember that in our squad, everyone, is just a part of the family as anyone else. So yeah, I'm really, really glad you did that. You never got to worry in the squad. But no,
No.
that's another example, yeah, where you push yourself outside your comfort zone and you're here doing the
Yeah.
podcast as well. You're smashing it. It's so good.
Ooh,
Oh, well, thank you so much for spending your evening chatting to me, Lesley. And
thank-
I guess I'll see you in class tomorrow morning.
definitely.
Hey,
Always there, 6:30.
I'll see you there bright and early. Oh, thank you so much, Lesley. I will see you in the morning.
Oh, thank you. It's
Take
been a
care.
pleasure.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.